VGC is supported by Patreon. Check out patreon.com/videogameschronicle for more podcasts, ad-free browsing, and extra content. Thank you for your support. With darkness and silence through the night, it's VGC the Video Game Podcast, episode 133, with me, Jordan Midler, and Chris Scullion. This week, we're walking here, but first, how's it going, Chris? Good to see you.
Likewise, it's going good. It's been a week.
It has been a week.
Also, it will continue to be a week because it turns out I've got a family trip planned to Aberdeen over the weekend, which I'd completely forgotten about, and has therefore surprised me, even though it wasn't supposed to. So that's going to be extra stress on top of.
You're heading up north to Aberdeen.
Okay, hi. I had a classic. And I went to Aberdeen back in the day when I was at uni. One of my friends was from Aberdeen, so a few of us trekked up there to visit her neck of the woods. And this sounds like a joke. This sounds like a bad stand-up joke, but it genuinely happened.
Mm-hmm.
Where we got in the taxi, me and a couple of pals, and the taxi driver looked over to one of my female friends and went, "Furry boots." And she went, "What?" And he went, "Furry boots." And she looked down and she was wearing a pair of furry boots. Like that was like her kind of style. And she's like, yeah, I got them from wherever it was. He's like, eh? She's like, oh, no, I got them from him. And he's, no, furry boots, are you going? It genuinely happens. So
my godparents live in Stonehaven, just outside Aberdeen, and my one of them is from Aberdeen, one of them's from Paisley. So I'm well. I can translate Doric like the best of them. Used to go up there for Hogmanay because they would have fireballs where people, I don't know what the balls were made of, but they would light these big balls of, I assume like hay or probably not hay because that would immediately just disintegrate, but something that could stay on fire, swing these balls about, and it's like, okay, we may live in a town from the 17th century, but at least at Hogmanay we swing fireballs about.
My dad's got family in Dundee as well, and so I've been brought up. I was taught how to order pies from a pie shop in Dundee, and the classic phrase is "twa pies, a plain and an onion and a," which is 2 pies, a plain one, and an onion one as well.
Here's the thing, occasionally when I'm on an American podcast, I'll read the comments, and they're like, "I can't understand what this guy's saying." I'm like, mate, you have no idea.
We're as close to like radio voice as you can get for Scotland, but yeah.
That was always a problem with when I worked at the BBC. They wanted more regional voices because it was all west of Scotland. They all sounded like me, essentially, or occasionally you'd get the odd Chukter adjacent voice. But as soon as you went anywhere, like, you know, Mary Ellen Robertson, the stand-up comedian, she did stuff for the BBC, and because she's from Shetland, every single comment in all of her videos were like, "Is she even speaking English, bro?" And I was like, fine.
Oh, it's infuriating. I should apologise in advance to the listeners that because it's still the school holidays. My family's trotting around upstairs, so if you hear any loud shouting or arguments or just general hijinks and fun, that's it.
People that listen to this podcast are not used to hijinks. I know
that's why I'm saying if someone heard anyone enjoying themselves, they might get a bit of a fright. So I was just explaining that it wasn't us. I promise.
Excellent. I'm going to talk about my New York trip, but first I want to thank our season ticket holders on patreon.com/videogameschronicle. You can give us support and become an even more leading light in the independent media game. Also, if you sign up this month or extend your membership or gift a membership or upgrade, you will get a VGC badge. They're going fast. I'm maintaining a list and I realized I should probably keep some for us. So they're going even faster than they previously were. Yeah, well, maybe if you sign up for a season ticket. Much like SC Ginger, Silas Devagerstein, Matthew Tate, Justin Keeling, Vicious, Moroccan Lamb, Tanner Santos, Serkin Toto, Shadigo, Matt Huggins, Martimus Prime, Ryan Kabame, Sam Biggs, Hugh Overend, Ginger Jotun, Mark Edmonds, and James Hughes.
I'm jealous of Silas Devagerstein. That's an amazing name.
He's renamed Paul Smith.
So, speaking of Silas Devagerstein, I see Heretic and Hexen have been released this morning. On Xbox. So
let's derail the podcast for an hour to talk about Heretic and Hexen. This week I was in New York to review Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, a title that doesn't have 3 in it, which always trips me up, but they set up a little event in New York City, so I was there from Monday to I got back yesterday morning. Lovely trip. I love New York. Greatest city in the world. I could do without it being 35 degrees, but that's much of a muchness. So I went to the New York Nintendo store, had a look around. It's mostly the stuff that you could get in the UK, like online store or whatever. But they have a big exhibition at the minute that's like 20 years of the Nintendo store. And sadly, that means it's 20 years since the Pokemon Center shut down in New York. The only thing they have remaining is the little Pikachu that used to sit in the Pokemon Center. They have him sitting in the middle of his own mass execution. And it's very, very sad. Because the little exhibition is, oh, look at all the different like packaging throughout the years at the Nintendo store and all the different bags in the Nintendo New York. And there's one little Game Boy Advance that you used to only get at the Pokemon Center in New York, and that's the only reference to the fact that it used to be there. And I think that's because the Pokemon Company are slightly embarrassed that they had to shut down Pokemon Center, which is like never happens now, but this was in a kind of fallow period for the company. So it's like, what was here before the Nintendo store? Nothing. There was nothing.
Never mind.
Don't you ask?
There was a Saks.
Yeah. Saks Fifth Avenue. They
actually, by all accounts, it's the San Francisco one that's got the fancy, the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like you say, the New York one's been going for 20 years. It's like you say, it's mainly the stuff you would be able to get online on Nintendo shops anyway. It's the San Francisco one, by all accounts, seems to be using the same branding as the Japanese stores and is bringing over a lot of merch from those. So hopefully one day the New York one will get a kind of revamp. And
also, the New York one isn't massive, like because it's built into like the larger Rockefeller Center Plaza. Like it's only got 2 floors, and a lot of that space is taken up by that big screen that you've seen during Smash Brothers reveals that everyone sits and watches. They've taken away, as far as I can see, a lot of the. They used to have historical stuff there, like they had the Gulf War Game Boy there for a long time.
God rest it.
God rest it. Or famously not. It survived.
No. God rest those around it.
Yeah.
But not it. But no, that's cursed ground to me now. The shop, not the Gulf War. Those YouTube reveal videos have just ruined it for me. I can't look at that place now without getting angry. Because I've put up comparisons on social media before of how back in the good old days of the Wii, you would get the occasional YouTube video back in the early days of YouTube where you'd get a small group of people sitting cross-legged on the floor, and every time there's a new announcement during the direct, you hear them going, yeah, and that was brilliant. And then you look at them now and it's just fucking Brooklyn Zoo. With people just, everyone filming themselves looking at the screen and everyone jumping over each other to get, and like screaming at just the smallest of announcements so that everyone can see their face reacting to these things. It's just like,
perhaps it wasn't the best idea to give everyone a 4K camera in their pocket that's easily transmittable.
Although,
around the world.
Having said that, I've now recently purchased cameras for my eyes for Gamescom, so I'm going to try and do a daft Gamescom vlog through Scullavision.
Good.
Because I don't like the Gamescom business area. It's still lots of corridors, and I think it's quite cool to look at. But I also feel like a bit of a prick walking about with my camera.
Hey, yo, Alex Donaldson, what do you think of the new Shinobi games?
So obviously, I'll be not discreet, but I'll be like open about it. Like if I walk up to someone, I'll stop recording, and luckily the flashes a big light as you're recording, and if you try and cover it, you hear a voice saying recording stopped, the light has been covered, please uncover the light to continue. So you can't be a dodgy chap while wearing them, so they're going back. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do.
You're like one of those guys that imports an American iPhone to Japan because all the Japanese ones have the shutter sound like baked into them that you can't turn off.
It properly does as well. It's good.
I think those glasses will get banned within a couple of months because some atrocity is going to be filmed via the Meta Ray-Bans, and then that'll be it.
That's the thing. Most people aren't trustworthy. I think we were saying this on Slack. I'm fortunate that baked into me is common decency that was brought into me as a child. So like I couldn't do anything dodgy with it because it's just not in me. But so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing I'm trying to figure out fun things to do with them that I couldn't do with a phone. short of going on roller coaster rides, of which Gamescom has few. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. It'll be a daft gimmick if nothing
You tell
else.
me they don't have a version of Oblivion that sends you straight through the middle of the colon, Mesa?
Sadly not. But
do you remember the you've been to Alton Towers? Yes, at some point in your life. The original, when Oblivion first launched, when you're going through the queue, it would have this wee sallow face looking guy going like, "Can you stand Oblivion? Yeah, no one knows where it's going to go. The train tracks keep disappearing." And then when you got up to the top of Oblivion, it originally held you and went, "Don't look down." But they took that out because the local woke residents complained that made people scream more. I actually think the thing that's making people scream is the fact that you're dangling them up at 200 feet in the air and shooting them down a big black hole. Like
that makes no sense at all. It's like I wasn't going to scream, but now that I've been informed that looking down is a mischief.
I'm like obsessed with Alton Towers and like from a pure admin perspective, because it's such an interesting park. They can only build stuff as high as the tree line because the people in the village of Alton, which no one knows the village of Alton without Alton Towers, are like, "Oh, I don't want to see a roller coaster." And it's like, shut up.
Yeah, move then. Don't
Do you
live
think
near
the
Alton
people
Towers?
of Anaheim, California are phoning up Michael Eisner and saying, "Oh, Baldy, do you want to get this? You want to get this Thunder Mountain Railroad out my window here?"
Scum.
Yeah,
I've not been to Alton Towers for a long time. I think it was like a high school trip was the last time I went to Alton Towers, but
was Nemesis? Oh, well, yeah, Nemesis would be
was
technical
there,
because
I
that
was
was
there.
1985.
I think Oblivion was fairly new when I
Yeah.
went, but they had none of the new stuff.
Don't look down. Best part of New York for me wasn't Metal Gear because I can't give any qualitative assessment of that yet. It was outside of the Metal Gear event. They had put traffic cones down. Someone came, parked their car, and they got out, did something, left, took a traffic cone with them, and like pulled into the street. And all the construction guys around them were doing the full on, "Hey yo, you got a cone under your car, man. What you doing?" I was like, "This is amazing," and that would have been good enough. But then the way that the cone got wedged, when the guy reversed back into the side of the street to take the cone from out of his car, his entire bumper popped right off.
Oh,
the full
that's
front
amazing.
end of his car just went and landed on the front, and everybody was going, "Ooh," because
That's
it was just
amazing.
so embarrassing. And obviously, the guy in the car could tell something had happened, but it came off with such ease that it couldn't have felt like this big great shake or anything like that.
That's
So he gets out
modern
of his car.
innit?
I know. He gets out of his car and he looks and he's like, "Oh, maybe I've scratched it." And as he gets round to the front, I'm glued on this, by the way. I am not looking away. I need to see every minute of this. He gets round to the front. He just puts his hands on his head. There's nothing he can do. And he's like, okay. So he just picks up his whole front end of the car, which looked incredibly light. It must have been made out of plastic or something like that. Tries to like pop it back in, and it kind of sits, but it kind of doesn't because it's come off so clean that there's like, he can probably put it back in the grooves. Then whoever's rigging the Metal Gear event felt so bad for him that they give him gaffer tape. And now, so we're all just sitting watching this guy try to gaffer tape the front of his car back together. And I'm like, this is the best thing that's happened on any trip in so long. That is a level of public humiliation. I would just leave the car. I'd be like, honestly, write this off. There's no reason for me to even need a car anymore, especially because it's got no front half.
You know what I would have done if I was there? Turn the old metal glasses on.
Your camera is recording.
Shh! What? Some asshole recorded this? Yeah,
Sorry, mate. Do you need a hand? Don't look into the light. Don't look into the light.
Try Men in Black him so he forgets that the arse has fell out his car.
It was so good, and it was one of those things that I kept thinking about for hours later. I was like playing the game and just chuckling to myself at that guy's bumper just going bunk the whole front end. Like,
that's amazing.
Great. New York's amazing. It's just so smelly. Like, just everywhere you walk, you're like, is that piss? Is that sewers? What are we smelling here? But I had so much New York pizza. And nice barbecue chicken slices, nice buffalo chicken slices, the whole lot. Nearly saw a fight in a bar. I got the whole experience. We were out for drinks on the last night, and there's these guys sitting at the bar talking away to the barman. And at one point, one of the guys gets a big red face, and he's like shouting at this guy, going, "You're a fucking asshole! You're an asshole! Get out here outside! You're an asshole!" And the barman's like, "He doesn't want to fight you! He doesn't want to fight you!" And the guy that's getting accused of being an asshole is just going, "What are you doing? I'm not saying nothing, and nothing. I'm not saying, and I'm just this is. I feel I'm in a film here. I
That was
want to.
peak
I am
New
not
York.
leaving until I see the conclusion of this, which I hope is a fight, but it wasn't.
That's a
Sadly,
shame.
an amazing trip.
I've got an issue with buffalo wings.
Go on.
I like a buffalo wing, like in general, on paper. But it seems to be one of those foods where the taste it has no definition. It can vary wildly. Because in my eyes and in my heart and in my soul, a buffalo wing is Frank's Red Hot. That type of flavour with butter. But you go anywhere, as I say, a lot of places particularly in the UK, claim to do buffalo sauce or buffalo style wings, and it's nothing like it. It's totally different. At least in America, it seems to be more uniform. But certainly in the UK and other environs, when you try buffalo wings, the flavour can be anything.
Don't cancel me, but Brewdog actually do decent approximations of buffalo wings. Like when I have a buffalo wing at a Brewdog, I'm like, okay, this is close. But this is why I evangelize about Buffalo Wild Wings, because they do straight up buffalo wing exactly what you're wanting, that kind of red hot with butter. Whereas I feel like in the UK, they'll just do a normal wing, put red hot on it with nothing else, and go, there's a buffalo wing. It's not the same.
And they're tiny. And they're tiny as well.
Yeah.
American wings are like a horse.
You want something that's like a forearm.
I want a Hulk Hogan 24-inch python, which was his arm, if anyone was
hell mend them.
That was all. Yeah.
It's not 24 inches now. It's probably much bigger because it'll be bloated at the minute. It'll be kind of gangrenous and bloated unless they tried to. Do you know Hulk Hogan was the first person that they ever tried to cremate, but the heat wasn't hot enough to burn up Hulkamania.
Hulkamania will never die, famously.
Hulkamania will never die. This was a great trip, ruined by the Philistines, the idiots, and the clowns at British Airways. So I get back to London.
Here we go again.
I get back to London and I receive a text that says, your flight has been cancelled. And I go, okay, there's been operational problems. That's fine. Standard cancellation. I'll get a later flight. Fine. That's annoying. Get to the lounge and I'm looking at the board and my original flight is still on the board. And I go, that's a bit weird. Usually they're like really on changing that to cancelled so that they can get people to go to the desks and change their flight plans. So I keep looking at it and I'm like, that flight's going. That flight is definitely going. Not only is it not cancelled, it's actually going. So I go up to the desk and I go, look at that board. That says it's still going, but I've been cancelled. And she goes, oh no, it's cancelled. And I go, well, then why does it now have a gate and it's saying go to gate? She goes, it's maybe just not updated. And I said, so if I go to that gate, there won't be a flight there? And she goes, I don't know. I'm like, okay, good guest services off the bat here. I said, can you do me a favour and phone the gate? So she's like, tripping face on her, phones the gate. Turns out the flight is in fact still going. And I'm like, well, why was I cancelled off of this? And she goes, operational problem. And I'm like, no, that doesn't work for me, brother. I'm working today. Like, this whole trip was planned so I could get home for like 9 o'clock. So she phones and she goes, oh, it's because British Airways policy, a policy that this person has pulled out of their arse, by the way, is that if you don't have 90 minutes for a connection, it cancels you. And I go, but this flight was sold together. And not only was it sold together, I landed at Heathrow at 6 a.m. My flight is at 10 to 8. I could have made it, as evidenced by the fact that we're having this conversation next to the gate while it's boarding. And she's like, oh, well, it's just, it just does it automatically. And I go, well, I'll stop you for a second there. Why would it do it automatically if it's 90 minutes? Why would it do it before 90 minutes? And she's at that point, she knew she was scunnered. She was just like, you can speak to a supervisor up the front. I go up to the front. I'm like, oh, I'm here to speak to a supervisor.
This is a man who's clearly played Phoenix Wright once or twice.
The guy looks like he's learning English for the first time in real time. He just looks bewildered by the fact that I'm asking him anything at all. And he goes, have you spoke to the person in there? I was like, me and the person in there are not on good terms. She told me to come over here. And then they do their stuff. And they're like, oh, well, it's just the policy. And I'm like, not only do I know it's not policy, because I fly through here like every single month, the fact that you're telling me that it's policy while me and you are looking at that gate, that board there, and I could walk downstairs onto that plane and probably be the first one there. I could go down there and come back about 10 times. And at this point, they felt defeated. So they phone someone again and they go, By the way, all the time this is happening, I was booked from a 6 a.m. flight onto like a 12:30 flight. So I would have been sat in Heathrow for 6 hours. And they go, can you get would the 5 to 9 work? I'm like, mate, all this time we've been talking, there's been a 5 to 9 that I could have gone on to, and you booked me on the 12:30. What are we even doing here, British Airways? So I got on the 5 to 9 the entire time, just seething, fuming, throwing up, walking through the gate, going, because after a transatlantic flight, you're not in the best of moods. But I was banging up for an argument, let me tell you. I was heated. Yeah. I was getting colour. I was ready to start smashing my own head in like New Jack. So that was a really, really, really stressful morning. I leave to go to my now miraculously existing gate, go into the chemist. Who'd I bump into? Paul Mescal. And I'm like, so I bump into this guy, I go, oh, how you doing? And then I realised who it was, and I went, oh, I will only stop you, but I'm excited for that Beatles thing. And he went, oh, thanks, mate. And that was it. I was like, that's a nice interaction. Nice guy. Go to my gate, come home. The pilot was an absolute dafty. It was a wee bit windy in Glasgow, so he took this as permission to absolutely.
So he put it into the Clyde.
Pretty much, he tried his best. He was playing that monkey ball game on the GameCube where you're flying in the balls. Smashes this thing into the runway at Glasgow Airport. I'm surprised the tires didn't just burst. There's probably a crater where he landed now. And I'm like, this is enough for me. So
to be fair, that is policy. He's probably a local pilot. That is the Scottish pilot way. Is to slam the plane down as hard as you can, and then just got on the mic and just go gaff.
don't feather it whatsoever. Just hit it as hard as you can into the ground, and then take about 20 minutes to taxi. So it was a stressful flying experience. I look forward to seeing BA in about 4 days when I go to the Pokemon World Championships. And if they start hitting me out with this patter again,
I always find it ironic that the amount of cancellations BA have, that they're actually named after A-Team character BA Baracus, who famously said, "I ain't getting on no plane," and neither are you.
Exactly.
British Airways. So.
B.A. Baracus was the person that enforced this fictional policy about a 90-minute transfer.
It's called the Mr. T policy, where you ain't getting on no plane.
Story number one. Microsoft has stopped development of Avalanche Studios' Contraband. Anyone remember this? Me neither. So Stephen Totillo, out there on the Game File, was talking about how Avalanche Studios, you might remember, the people that made Just Cause, they've now ceased active development of their next game. The game was originally announced with a cinematic trailer at E3 2021. Announced at an E3, not at a Summer Game Fest. That's how far back we're going. It was announced at an E3. We've got a statement here.
Announced at Games Master Live at Earl's Court in the 90s.
It was announced in the Trocadero. Quote, over the past several years, Avalanche Studio Group and Xbox Game Studios Publishing have collaborated on Contraband. The statement reads, active development has now stopped while we evaluate the project's future. We're thankful for the excitement we've seen from the community since we announced, and we will give an update on what's next as soon as we can. Do you think when they cancelled all these games like a month ago, they forgot about this one and they're like, oh yeah, we've got Contraband sitting under the couch?
Also, like, a bit much as I feel for the fine people at Avalanche Studios, who are also responsible for the very underrated Mad Max game. I don't buy we're thankful for the excitement we've seen from the community, because since it was announced, the community's seen nothing.
That's extremely disrespectful for the Contraband maniacs out there.
The Contraband brothers.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that's them trying to put a positive spin on what's a shit situation. It's weird. I wish they'd just say it was cancelled instead of doing this dance, because they're now saying, what did they say? Active development has stopped while we evaluate the project's future, which means in 3 months' time they're going to say it's cancelled.
Yeah.
So just pull the plaster off and just get on with it.
Do you think they were like, we cannot take the PR hit of cancelling another game? Yeah. Although basically everywhere reported it as that's it, binned. So it would be amazing if they came back and they're like, no, we evaluated and it's fine actually. We're still going to run with this one.
I wonder if they're just holding fire to see if another publisher's going to pick it up.
Oh yeah, maybe
potentially. And so instead of outright cancelling it, they're just sitting on it until, because maybe Microsoft said, look, This is pure no, it's not even speculation, it's guesswork. The speculation suggests that I've heard something which I haven't.
Speculation.
I wonder if maybe Microsoft has said we're not interested in publishing this anymore, and they're waiting to try and get someone else to jump in and acquire it. But I don't know.
Do you know what Contraband was? Because this is I'm refreshing my mind here. I'm on the YouTube channel.
Only do because I wrote the story. It was a co-op multiplayer game set in the 60s in some sort of place that definitely isn't Cuba, but is probably Cuba.
I'm currently on the YouTube channel for the Imagine Games Network. They have a re-upload of the trailer here. And yeah, it's all 60s. It's all record players. It's Cuban Missile Crisis,
cigars and boxes and all that shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of espionage, an open world, a co-op open world heist game. So is that like an extraction shooter? Maybe do you think that's what the idea was? What a weird era.
I mean, on a purely selfish level, I wasn't interested in it anyway because I don't really do co-op heist stuff. So I would have just liked another Just Cause or another kind of single-player game of that ilk.
Why would you like another one of those games?
I famously don't like people.
Oh, Chris, come on
just
now.
Like in my games.
Let's try this again. Take two. Why would you like another one of those games?
Just cause.
Thank you. Carry on.
Mad Max.
Okay, we'll try that again. Take three. Why would you like another one of those games?
Mad Max. But I don't know. I feel for, as always, when these things get cancelled, the people who have spent 4 or 5 years working on something that's never going to be seen by people, unless some valiant entrepreneur just decides to leak the shit out of it later. But we
need a mission in Just Cause 6 where you're breaking out the contraband files to show to the public. Do you remember when? So Just Cause to me is an absolute wee guy game in the sense that they entirely promoted it on the idea of what would be cool to a wee guy. See when they started showing like, oh, you can tether multiple rockets to a car and it'll just send it off into the moon. I was like, that's a proper game to me. That's what you're after.
Just Cause
physics stuff working
Just Cause
together.
2, I put too much time into Just Cause 2, just because it was ridiculous. It was like the title summed it up.
Yeah.
Like how is this possible? It just is. Like it should have just called it Just Is.
Just Is.
Like the fact you could jump off a plane,
like
hang glide down and like use a grappling hook to then grapple into a jeep and put the guy out it and drive the jeep, and then just for a laugh when you're driving at high speed, leap out the jeep, put a parasail thing on, and then hijack another plane. That's mental. But
that was right in my era of like getting every achievement for stuff. Like I cleared that map because it was just so much fun to do. That was that the one where you could surf the planes, or was that 3?
I can't remember. It was a while, but I just remember hijinks.
Are those on modern platforms? Can I download the Just Cause games right now? I think you can maybe get 3 and 4. At least,
but,
did they make a 4? Am I imagining that? Just Cause franchise. Let's do it. We're actually welcome to our new podcast, Just Cause Chat,
called Fill in the Gaps.
They did make a Just Cause 4.
I remember it well.
Yeah. Published by Square Enix Eidos, developed by Avalanche.
It was that era, wasn't it?
Man, I'd like them to bring it back because Just Cause is pretty cool. They also made Rage. Oh, interesting. And according to Wikipedia, they currently cancelled Contraband. I'm hearing that they're just reevaluating, but Wikipedia is telling me that it's cancelled. So
I don't trust Wikipedia as far as I could throw them.
Yeah, which is actually quite far because you can download like most of Wikipedia onto like a 4 gig flash drive. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you launch that.
I used to love about Wikipedia back in the day. See when they had on wrestlers' pages, they had full lists of moves. I got really into that. But there's some lore where the people that edit the wrestling pages had some massive argument and eventually took all of the signature moves off. At which point it's just like, well, here's the titles they've won. Here's all the times they've been arrested. I'm not interested in that. I want to learn what a dragon suplex is.
Wikipedia, if you want to see how far humanity has plunged, find any random Wikipedia page for a popular topic and then go into the talk category at the top. And you'll see the worst gatekeepers in the world arguing over whether oh, this tennis player, their quarter-final role appearance shouldn't count towards their total honours because a quarter-final doesn't count. Well, I think you're just saying that because you don't like this particular player. I thought, my God.
Because you're not an Andre Agassi, Mark.
I'm pretty sure the fine folks at the Encyclopedia Britannica didn't used to do this.
Yeah. Do you think any encyclopedias still kick a ball? Do you think it's like in games media where occasionally you'll get like a boutique magazine that's like 75 quid and you're like, okay, this is nice, but who the hell's reading this?
You'll get some sort of knob who still wants like an entire bookshelf full of, you used to be able to collect them. Back in the day, you used to collect them by letter. And some people like schools had them, like had the full A to Z all lined up on the bookshelves. And
they would form like a picture of the Wii U if you had all of them together.
They would, but surely not. Surely that ball's burst.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should get into, publishing encyclopedias.
Listen,
we should maybe do encyclopedias like based on different consoles. That might be a shout.
Wouldn't work. It would drive us into an early grave with the stress involved.
Too much work playing Mary-Kate and Ashley GBA games.
PlayStation Encyclopedia out 2027, I believe.
Oh, very nice. Well, hopefully.
Oh no, actually, maybe late 26. The deadline has been pushed back.
Look,
it was supposed to be submitted at the end of the year, but just things have conspired, and luckily the lovely folk at Pen and Sword Books who published my encyclopedias is turned into a plug, so we might as well just write it. They've pushed the deadline back just to make it more comfortable, because I could have fired it out by the end of the year, but it wouldn't be. It'd be kind of rushed. I don't want to rush these things, so I'll deliver it mid next year, and then we'll be out as soon as, thankfully. It's easily the biggest one I've done yet because it's a PS1.
The PS2 one's going to finish you off. That's it. PS2's got 60,000 games.
There actually is quite similar. Like if I can pull off the PS1, I could do the PS2. It's just I'll need a gap between them because these are brutal.
Chris Gillian loves pulling off the PS2. If you were to pull off the PS2, how would you do it? Memory card, or
you would open the disc tray.
Yeah, open that big bit at the back that was meant for the hard drive, and just fire right into it.
Oh, wee honey. Right. Anyway,
we have Sony chat, we have BioShock chat, and we have Assassin's Creed chat after this short commercial break. Check out patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. And we are back. Sony CFO gets the Understatement of the Year award by saying its live service shift is, quote, not entirely going smoothly, but pledges to carry on and learn from its mistakes. Big Lin Tao was out there chatting because it was Sony's financials this week, and it said, quote, last year Concord shut down and this year Marathon was postponed. So somewhat negative news has been coming out. But if we look at the past 5 years, 5 years ago, live service games were almost non-existent for PlayStation Studios. We now have Helldivers 2, MLB The Show, and Gran Turismo 7. Do you know, Chris, in Gran Turismo 7, there's actually, if you want to chill out between races, you can go and sit and learn about the history of automotion in a cafe. Which
the notorious cafe, which we'd never mentioned before.
I thought that was a really nice, cool way of spending my time, sitting in a cafe learning about the history of the hatchback.
Listen, it's very realistic as well, because often I'm sitting in a cafe in a Starbucks minding my own business, and some old man comes over and says, is that a Toyota Yaris out there? Is that yours? I'm like, you better believe it, sir. And he's like, did you know that the original Yaris was founded in 2002 by Toyota, and can get
John Ford invented the traction engine back in 1964.
Steven Toyota.
It's 1945 and the Fuhrer has fallen.
Finally.
Yeah.
A pain in my arse.
Yeah. Back in the day, we were worried about that Fuhrer. Now we're worried about a whole different one.
These things get Fuhrer and Fuhrer apart.
Yeah.
It's wild that she cites Gran Turismo 7 as an example of a successful live service game.
I know. What is even the definition at this point? Is it just games when more shite comes out for them? Like,
she's basically saying 5 years ago we didn't have microtransactions. Now we do.
Yeah. Look at where we are. Look at where we started. The only one on there I'll give her is Helldivers 2. Not giving you Destiny 2 because that's not yours. Well, it is technically, but it's not as if you started that.
No. And
Destiny 2 launched under PlayStation when they came out.
Even Helldivers 2, nobody... Here's a take that might not be massively
Chris Gillion's
popular,
hot take.
Helldivers 2's success was the worst thing to ever happen to PlayStation fans.
Okay.
Because if Helldivers 2 had died in its arse, or at the very least wasn't as wildly popular as it was, you wouldn't see as big a push for live service as Sony's doing just now. Because nothing else Sony's done live service-wise has suggested that it should go this hard with
I don't know, mate. I'm playing Fair Game every night. I mean, the
Fair Game dollar.
Yeah.
But it's... I feel like they're hoping for another Helldivers at some point.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking if we throw enough shit at the wall, one of these is going to do another 15 million. It's not Concord. Okay, is it Fair Game? Nope. Is it Marathon? Nope. They're going to just keep trying until they get one, because they only really need one. But I think if Helldivers 2 hadn't been such a massive success, then by this point they would have just went, this isn't working. But the fact they've got an example of something that did work makes them think that it could work again.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a case of they have to be exploring this space because it's where all the money is. But you do get the sense, and when you chat around, that a lot of Sony is just moved back to what they should be doing, which is big single player shit. I think they need to reevaluate how big the single player things are. Like, I think they could probably dial the budgets back to $1 billion pounds. But it's I cannot wait until we're past this era of talking about this shit.
Ghost of Motherwell. Just make the open world a lot smaller.
But that's a great example. Like, Yote came out in 2020, and now the Tsushima came out in 2020. They did a big DLC for it, and now the sequel's coming out in 2025. That's like a reasonable amount of time. Like, 5 years between games isn't that terrible. It's when you get into like the decades between games and you're getting like one a generation that is kind of sad. But live service shift is not entirely going smoothly. I regret every day not buying that Concord DualSense controller because it's worth like £700 now. And for some reason I've just decided that I'm just collecting these DualSenses because they keep putting them out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get that one. Oh yeah, the Astro one, yeah, I'll get that one. Death Stranding, sure.
I've got more DualSenses than I put hours into my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a pink one, which I bought because it was cheap. I've got the Astro one. I've got the PS1 style one. PS1 one. The stock one that I got with it. It's like that's more controllers than I have hands.
Yeah,
it's unacceptable. It's a good job they fall apart really quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, true. To be fair though, as I said on the podcast when you weren't here, I've just turned my PlayStation on. Great. Do you want me to just stream MGS Delta for the rest of this podcast? The DualSense Edge is on its arse at the minute, but that could be due to the acid that emits from my hands, like some kind of toad boy. But to finish this quote, of course, we recognise that there are still many issues, so we should learn from we should learn lessons from mistakes and make sure that we introduce live service content where there's less waste and more. Sorry.
You're doing a worse job than the interpreter.
Sorry, I read that as where there's less waste and more smooth. It's not that. It's where there's less waste and it's more smooth. So, in conclusion, less waste, more smooth PlayStation Live service. Speaking of a situation where there's a lot of waste and not much smooth, BioShock 4's leadership has been replaced as 2K insists it's, quote, committed to delivering a great game. Fuck, turn this PlayStation off. In a statement, a spokesperson for the publisher confirmed that Cloud Chamber studio head Kelly Gilmore has left their role, while creative director Hogarth de la Plante has moved to a publishing position. Plant was involved in the original game across level design, art, and programming. According to Bloomberg, the leadership changes followed a recent failed review by executives at 2K Games, the publishing arm of Take-Two. BioShock 4's narrative was identified as an area that was particularly in need of improvement and will be revamped. It's claimed there was also apparently a cancelled remake of the first game earlier this year. Mind BioShock? Mind this massive, incredibly popular franchise that they've just managed to do absolutely nothing with?
I'd love to see that internal review that decided the narrative needed improvement. I wonder if they thought it was too woke.
Yeah, I bet it was too woke. I mean, you go from one of the most racist games of all time in BioShock Infinite, and you go 180 into Woko Shock.
Yeah, Bio-woke.
It's not the big daddy anymore, it's the big person.
It's now good that they brought in creative director Hogarth de la Plante, who just sounds like a villain. I'm sure they're a lovely person, but we've had some amazing names in this episode. But no, I mean, I don't. 2K don't often cancel things, so I would imagine this is them. They're like, we need to finish this thing. Like, and if it sounds like if they're ditching the narrative, we're not going to see this for a long time, because that's not just swapping out textures. That's undoing a lot of stuff and having to redo a lot of stuff again. That's a couple of years away, bare minimum.
Why are they struggling so badly to make like a 12-hour first-person shooter that looks nice and has like a kind of interesting narrative? Like, it never needed to reinvent the wheel.
They literally just released one today.
Yeah.
a 12-hour game with a nice narrative that just gets the job done in Mafia, the old country, which is really good. But so it can be done. I get the feeling. I got a feeling that as well as...
Oh, nice. So your reference to the Black Eyed Peas. Stop right there, Chris. Name the 4 Black Eyed Peas.
Will I Am.
Correct.
A.K.A. William.
Yep.
Sarah Ferguson.
Correct.
Or Fergie, if you will. Alex Ferguson. Taboo.
Correct.
And Apple D App.
Very good.
Yeah.
Impressive.
I saw Black Eyed Peas at Tea in the Park.
You were at the barricade.
I was Apple the App. Pink were on first, I think, and then Black Eyed Peas.
I take it she wasn't doing our Mad Highway. She wasn't doing her own heart act at that point. She was just standing there singing.
Who's this? Pink.
Pink, yeah.
She was just singing. This was like 2004 era, just singing. And then Fergie came out and wiped the flareware.
Yeah. Fergie came out and went. It was only on that island for a bit of fun. Anyway, the Bioshock, speaking of islands, there's always an island in Bioshock. Seems like a franchise to me that they got a bit ahead of themselves in terms of the expectation of making a Bioshock game is, it has to be this big, amazing narrative thing and it has to do something different. Whereas the ending to Bioshock Infinite gave them carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. And I feel like it shouldn't have taken this long. There's screenshots of this. Well, I don't know if it's this version of Bioshock 4 or a previous version floating about. Has been for some time. It was set in like an Alaskan area. It was all kind of snowy and wintry and shit. And that's like an interesting Alaska, Antarctica, some kind of snow shite.
Yeah.
And that could have been an interesting concept, but it never came to be.
My main worry, and I've just realised this is the point I was going to make before I started singing Black Eyed Peas, is that 2K are trying to microtransact this. that's never
make it a live service.
I mean, if we're an IP that big, it's fair enough for Mafia where you can just fire it out, say £45 game, because people wanted, like, I get that Bioshock fans want a straight narrative adventure as well, but there hasn't been a call for it because they haven't strayed from it. The whole point of Mafia was that when Mafia 3 came out, it went open world, and everyone went, "What? This isn't Mafia," and now they've gone back to it. I worry that with an IP as big as Bioshock, 2K are going to say, we're not just going to find out a £40 game for this. We need to like capitalise on this IP as much as we can, and that involves either live service or a heavy dose of DLC. So I don't know. I worry when I see internal reviews by executives saying, "Nah," because what do the executives not like that the development team liked?
It's just baffling to me because this franchise was so big that there was like talk of making Bioshock films and making a Bioshock TV series, and it was merchandised so heavily. Like, I know Ken Levine left to go and make Judas, a game that is never going to come out, but the fact that they can't just get a team together, a team that was even like kids or teenagers when the first game came out, must be raring to work on a new Bioshock, and it just never came to be. I think this will either quietly gets... It's weird that Bioshock... I would never have guessed Bioshock would be a franchise that would just get scrapped. And that's essentially what's happened. Like, nothing's happening with Bioshock. They put out those RTX versions of the first 2 games, which were nice and reminded people, oh yeah, mind when you get a Bioshock like semi-regularly, but man.
They were lassies who were in the first Bioshock. I don't... The
Little Sisters.
I'll shock you by saying that I never played it.
It's on the backlog.
Yeah. Were they actual humans or were they like creatures?
So, I can't remember. I think they were like actual humans. No, they were actual humans that got poisoned. Don't comment on this. I don't care. There were real children who got poisoned by the Adam, which was like the slug things that powered the splicers, maybe powered Rapture. And I think that the Big Daddy was protecting them because they could harvest it or something like that. I know that the Big Daddy like protected them because they were some kind of harvester of human organs or something like that. But you could famously save the little sisters by sending them through the tube, or you could kill them and get more power. And if there was an achievement attached to saving all of them, obviously.
So here's my idea for a Bioshock 4 game.
Here we go. Pitch it.
Opens.
I'll 2 minutes. Let me.
Okay, your notebook.
Hello, Strauss. All right, how you doing? How are the gains going? Right, I've got a young man to speak to you. Yeah, name's Chris Scullion. He's got a lovely idea for a new Bioshock.
As Virgin on Savile.
He's got a lovely idea for a new Bioshock. I'm going to put him on the phone now. Here's little Chris.
Hello, Strauss. I'm pleased to meet you. Here's my idea for Bioshock 4, Strauss. Starts with an old woman lying in her deathbed with her family around her. And she says, "You know what they used to call me? A little sister. And back in the day, I got pushed through a fucking tube. And here's what happened." And then the whole game is a prequel showing how she get pushed through a tube. And you can then set it in the original Bioshock with her narrating all the way through it. "The Big Daddy used to protect me until one day they went bad." And then so you then have to, and it just becomes like a normal Bioshock one.
Are you playing as the little sister? Like what is this, just a narrative framing device?
That's how they speak famously. That's what happens.
My question is, if you're playing as the little sister, is all
No, you're not playing as the little sister. It becomes Bioshock Infinite at this point, and you're just another guy who's assisting her, but you assist this little sister through the entire game. She's your kind of companion, and then at the end you punt her through a tube, and that's how the game ends. And she lived to tell the tale.
Okay, so it's a companion story. It's kind of like The Last of Us or something like that, where
Exactly.
you're looking after this. This is the one little girl in Rapture that couldn't be corrupted by the.
Yeah.
She's normal, but for some reason at the end of it, she starts talking like Liza Minnelli. It's like,
she's had a life.
Back
She's lived a whole
Rapture.
life.
Oh,
She's
you
lived
should
a
have
whole
seen
life
the
after
star. You should have seen the lights back in Rapture. The buildings were as tall as trees back in Rapture.
It's like Manhattan back in the 20s.
Whereas the guy you're playing as is just like, I don't even know who this is. I don't know why
He's just
I'm
like
here.
a normal guy.
I just work in Rapture. I've got a 95, mate. I'm a statistical engineer.
As soon as he punted her through that tube, he instantly forgot about her. but it stuck with her for her entire life. That man saved my britches.
And who's talking to her in this future?
It's her family. She's on her
Okay.
She's on her deathbed. She's telling them all because for some reason she's never told them what happened until this very moment. She's like, "I'm on the way out. I might as well finally reveal the man who saved my life."
There was a
70 years
city
ago.
under the sea. It was called Rapture, and I was rescued from it because I was punted through a tube.
And at the very, very end, just as she's about to die, one of her family members turns to her and says, "She's gone mental, turn it off." And it turns out that none of it actually happened. And she's just like living in the deep south. And she's always been in the deep south her entire life. She's just going mental. And it just ends with her machine getting switched off, and that's the end of this game. The whole thing was in her head the whole time.
You never find out what happened with the character you were playing as.
He didn't exist. He didn't exist.
He just stops being a thing as soon as she gets punted through the end.
Here's what happens.
Strauss is hung up, by the way.
She's telling the story. She's up,
interested.
and then I got punted through the tube, and here I am. And then our grandson or someone looks up to the doctor and says, "She's gone mental. Turn her off." And the camera pans to the doctor, and the doctor is the companion because she's looking at the doctor's face and telling the story, and that's what's in her head. And they never existed. It's just the doctor standing over her. So you suddenly are now the doctor, and the last action in the game is a quick time event where you have to turn her life support off. So you spend the whole game saving her, and then right at the end you have to kill her, and that's how it ends.
It uses like the haptic triggers, and it makes it really tight.
It really presses down really hard. It's
the
hardest the haptics I've ever been, because you really don't want to do it, and then it just clicks and goes.
Then it pulls out and goes, somewhere beyond the sea. Bioshock 4.
It goes, I got a feeling. Sold. Make it happen, Strauss.
Yeah, Strauss is a way. He's a way to get more gains.
More fool him, because I've just given him gold.
I mean, that's a better story than Bioshock Infinite managed, so significantly less racist too. Very finally,
well,
this week,
you've not seen the details, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, true. You haven't seen the bit where she starts singing Mammy. Assassin's Creed Black Flag actor says Ubisoft, quote, threatened to sue him after he teased a remake. Matt Ryan, who plays the game's protagonist Edward Kenway, was filmed at a convention in June, hinting to a fan that a remake was on the way. Now in a video posted to TikTok, which has since been removed, Ryan has been filmed at another convention, a scullion with his meta glasses, explaining that he got into trouble for this comment. In a new video, Ryan was asked if there's a remaster coming, to which he replied, I don't know, mate. Which is pretty good. That's my default response to most things. After being reminded of his previous comments, Ryan explained that he didn't realise he was being filmed and that Ubisoft wasn't happy about it. I think this guy's English, so... Well, the thing is, when that happened, someone was doing this, pointing to... I'm sorry, I'm not sure why I'm reading the story as this guy as well. He pointed to the camera that was filming him, and I was actually being very free and open, but I didn't know that they were actually recording me on their phone, and then the company threatened to sue me. Yeah, so I say nothing. By the way, there is a remake coming. Chris, everyone knows there's a remake coming. Are they going to sue me for saying that?
Probably. I feel for him.
My phone's actually got his Eve Gilmore as me humped.
Eve, I've got a hell of a game idea for you. He's like, this guy's like his own worst enemy, basically. So I feel for him the first time, because he was just trying to drop a wee hint to a fan and didn't realise it was being recorded. And the second, when you watch the second video, he's playing it right at first, going, I don't know anything about it. And then he looks up and sees the camera pointing at him. And in anyone else's head, that's like, shut up, definitely don't say any more about it. But he sees the camera and goes, well, I'll tell you what happened, mate. And basically says, last time I said, and rewording what he said, he basically said, the last time I spoke about the remake, I got threatened with a lawsuit, so I'm not going to speak about it anymore. Therefore, confirming it even further. He should have just said, "No, I don't know. I meant something else there. That was misinterpreted." Blah 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 blah.
I feel for these actors, because I know for a fact a lot of the time they don't get told like the plans for announcements and stuff like that. And if he's just tenuously being told by fans every time he does a convention, when's this remake happening, he probably assumes that it's been announced because the fans know about it, and not the fact that it's just been reported into the ground as a reality of what's happening.
Yeah. Especially because for all we know, we don't know if he's back for it. We don't know if he's recorded new lines or if they're just using his original dialogue for it. So he might not have been very hands-on with the process. So he might have just been told by an agent, by the way, they're bringing this back out again, you're going to get a payment for some of your old voice that's being used. And that's all he knows about it.
They recorded all new yo-hos, which is pretty good.
Oh, listen, a yo-ho and a ho.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel for them, but this happens quite a lot. And you would think these voice actors or actors, I should say, it's all motion capture these days with their whiz bangs and their gizmos. They should know better. But I do feel for them, because not all of them are kind of versed in media training. I
mean, it'll never get better than the entire original Persona 4 cast announcing that remake by going, I'm not in it.
I'm not in it.
Yeah, get this thing announced, Ubisoft, come on. I kind of expected that to be this year, but it's getting a bit late in the day. I suppose it's the kind of thing they can announce on social media on a random Tuesday and be like, oh well, maybe they announced it at opening night live. Maybe Chris Scullion will be in the crowd.
I'll be filming it with my glasses.
We're going, wow, yeah, Assassin's Creed.
That's something I haven't decided yet for this vlog, whether I should film bits of that with my glasses.
Yeah, you should.
But surely the light will be seen by people on the stage. The people are filming it anyway, so
but how bright is this light? Like, sure,
listen,
it's like not a massive. It's not a floodlight, is it?
It's like a lighthouse, mate.
There's always a lighthouse. Bioshock 4.
Well, famously.
You should have seen this lighthouse. There's always that lighthouse.
Bigger than your head. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure something entertaining out with it. But I do want to do a proper for the Patreon folk this time at Gamescom, a full like diary of the entire trip there, like how it all actually works, all the behind the scenes, how it works. So
nice. Patreon people
genuinely interesting.
We'll get a vlog this weekend, hopefully. The lost files from my trips in the spring to LA, because I've got a hell of a lot of footage, but because
I'm sorting my Japan one out later this month as well. When we get more of a staff in, I'll have time to kind of put together my Japan one as well.
And then next week I'm heading to the Pokemon World Championships, all of which will be filmed. I'll upload some bits and pieces as I go while I'm there, because there's some stuff happening at the Pokemon World Championships that you're gonna want to see.
A cockfight.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They just faint. they don't hurt each other. They just.
You wouldn't say that. You just like, listen, I didn't say a cockfight to the death.
No, true.
A cockfight to the faint.
Just a little slap about. Top 3 Pokemon.
See, I'm old school, so they're all very much vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Psyduck, always
Good.
number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Ditto.
Okay, that's kind of cheating, but sure.
No, but just in his original form, not
just the flubber form.
Mm-hmm. 3 rotates. At the moment, it's just a good old fashioned Pikachu.
Yeah.
But the fat Pikachu from like the early days, not this kind of slimmed down Pikachu, the woke Pikachu that they've got now. It has to be the. Here we go. He's demonstrating. Oh, Lady Liberty herself.
From New York City, the Pokemon, not the Pokemon Center, famously not the Pokemon Center, the Nintendo New York store.
For the purposes of those listening audio only, Jordan is holding up a Statue of Liberty Pikachu, holding a tablet which appears to have unknown signs on it. I wonder if he's already translated them to.
I haven't. It's.
It just says down with the whites.
I don't actually think it's. Let me get the unknown.
Oh, he's going to get the Rosetta Stone of unknown characters. Yeah. I bet it's just random letters.
Well, you think it would just say like USA or something like that, but
there's not. We'll see.
Let me get the alphabet up.
Hold fire. We'll see what it says.
It says that doesn't even look like one of the numbers, which are the numbers. They're letters, which are even good.
There's so many acronyms I could be saying that could get us into a lot of trouble, so I'm just not saying anything.
Okay. It says.
ACAB.
Oh, that's actually quite cool. It translates to Unova, which is the black and white region that is based on New York City. So, there you go.
I wish it said Apple the App.
It said, "I got a feeling." Woo-hoo. I hate that song. When I was in school,
I do as well.
When I was in high school, they put telly, because I went to a brand new high school that had only just been built. So there was tellies in the social area, which was basically the big the dinner hall. And they would always have hits music on, and it was always Leona Lewis's "Bleeding Love," which is a good song. She's some chanter, to be fair, but I've heard enough of it. I Got a Feeling. It was also the one that was like, "You are now rocking with Will.i.am and Britney, bitch." That's a good tune. And what was the other? Fuck it, "Single Ladies" by Beyonce. I was like, mate, take me to the balcony above the social area and let me swanton bomb through the nearest table.
In my era, the early 2000 nightclub era, it was every single night. It was "Dirty" by Christina Aguilera. It was "Hot in Here" by Nelly.
I am. That's a good tune.
And it was what's her face?
Cilla Black.
Oh, listen!
Surprise!
God rest that woman. No, it was Aguilera. It was Nelly, "Hot in Here," and it was Justin Timberlake.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
So quick to walk away.
Yeah,
that one. So it was infuriating. But it's funny. I've always hated "I've Got a Feeling" as well. But Louise only recently pointed out something that I'd never noticed in the song, and now that she's pointed out, I hear it every single time and hate it even more. For some reason, my brain missed that in one line when they say "fill up your cup," Fergie goes "drink" at one point, which I somehow my brain had missed that, and now every time I hear it, I go "drink," and I hate it even more.
You regularly listen to it?
The kid loves it.
Oh yeah.
So it's part of her playlist along with like other shit like "Because I'm Happy."
That is
I despise that.
I know that Tyler the Creator idolized Pharrell because of NERD, and some of the stuff Pharrell's done is amazing, but the people that were in that video really debased themselves. Him and his stupid hat. That was a really terrible era. That was the same era for music as like Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke and all that kind of absolute mince pish and garbage.
Yeah,
not good.
It wasn't good. The one she loves just now, which I tolerate, is the Timberlake one from Trolls. I
don't know.
Sunshine in My Pocket one.
Oh my God.
I don't mind that. That's okay for now. But yeah, she's not got good taste just now.
When I was young, the films that had music in them, it was mostly original music. It was like Lion King, Mulan soundtracks, all that stuff. I couldn't imagine the horror of having all these now kind of jukeboxy kids films like that Sing, where they're just singing.
I was going to say Sing's the worst because it's like you could fill like 4 CDs with that soundtrack. Not that the kids listen to CDs these days anyway. It's all vinyl and
all cassettes.
It's all mini disc, but it's just I don't enjoy them. I'm trying to think. We must have had some jukebox films back in our day, but I can't really think of any. The most you would get is like a live action movie that had like Home Alone 2 would play Rocking Around the Christmas Tree and Jingle Bell Rock and various other licensed Christmas songs. That's about as much as you got.
The first one
they certainly never built a movie around it unless it was specifically a musical, and even then it was original songs.
The one that springs to mind for me immediately is Shrek, but even with that, you're only really doing you're starting with All Star. Then it's pretty much the film's actual score for a long time.
I think Shrek was the ground zero of that trend, because when people when All Star, and to a lesser extent Hallelujah, were played it, people were like, oh wait a minute, the kids love these songs. Like, that's why they had that stupid sing along at the end with a donkey singing I'm a Believer.
And then it might have been Shrek 2 when they had like Swamp Idol and they got like Simon Cowell and stuff like that. Really, really dating it there. Any kind of contemporary reference to that kind of stuff just absolutely ruins it. That first Shrek film's pretty good. Like it
holds up. The kids started watching them again. She's at the point now where she's actually watching films with plots and not just any old shite. So she's getting that. She watched Jurassic Park and kind of got through it. So that was the litmus test to see whether I could start bringing in Goonies and all that kind of stuff. So
Hellraiser.
Listen, Hen, you've just turned 7. It's time for the Human Centipede.
I have a really distinct core memory of being at my godparents and like sitting in the spare room watching the telly, and it was like something was on, maybe Channel 4, it was maybe The Simpsons or something, and then Angel came on, and they all had that, like, the face that they all made when they were all evil, and it scared the living shit out of me. Like, I had to spin around and, like, bury my face into the pillow so that no part of my eyes could see what was going on.
That's good.
Oh, man. Childhood fears. If you've got any childhood fears, be sure to put them in the comments. Until next time, check out patreon.com/video games chronicle. You've got a chill weekend in Aberdeen coming up. The Battlefield open beta is out now on everything, I think, so you can go and check that out. Later today, I'm going to publish a feature about the maps, and I think that's it. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend. Maybe Dom.
There's a free weekend demo of Drag and Drive. You might want to try that if you improve your wheelchair basketball skills. Also, like I said, Mafia: The Old Country is out now if you want a wee single player adventure.
Yeah.
It's worth a look.
How many British pounds is that? Mafia
45, I believe. 40. But you could get the physical version for cheaper. I've seen it for like 30 odd physically.
This is how you know that Games Media is in the bin, and we should probably rip it all up. When you Google Mafia: The Old Country, top 3 news results. Is Mafia: The Old Country on Game Pass?
No. What I would say is maybe hold fire and see how it does on console.
Yeah.
Because from what I can gather, and when you look at Metacritic, they only gave out PC codes. and it looks amazing on PC, but in the past they'd said we're aiming for an average of 60 frames a second in performance mode, which to me suggests it's going to run like whole. So I would wait and see how the console versions look first, because it's a really nice looking game, which obviously means it's going to take up a hell of a lot of power. So let's just wait and see. Obviously, if you've got a PS5 Pro, which costs £400,000, then you're okay. But if you're stock PS5 or Xbox Series X, I would hold fire and see how it looks first before buying it, because it might be a Cyberpunk situation, or it might not.
Chris, some breaking news from the world of Nintendo.
Who's dead now? Shigsy?
Mario. God, when Shigsy goes, it's going to be a fucking existential crisis on this website. They've announced a new lineup of products for like young kids called My Mario. It's all building blocks and stuff like that. So you better go.
I'll look up just now. I'll give you my exact reaction to it right now, and whether I'll be buying it for my child, which I almost.
It seems a bit too young for your kid.
It does, but I really like it.
Yeah,
you're right. The building block stuff is too young for her, but there's a picture of a wee Japanese boy. Although I'm looking at the Nintendo Japan site, to be fair, lying next to a Mario, and it's adorable. So. So
that'll be straight in the basket. I'll be getting imported for hundreds of pounds.
They're adding a free smart app and Switch software that children can play by pulling Mario's face. That's just Mario 64.
I was about to say.
Pricks.
Everything that is old is new again. Anyway. Well. Shall we hit the road?
Let's do it.
Thank you for joining us.
I've got a Bioshock script to write.
Yeah, exactly. The beauty of Rapture. I don't know why I turned into Meowth. The beauty of Rapture.
That's right.
We've got to go and find Pikachu. Oh, God rest him. He died fairly recently. The boy.
Meowth did.
Aye, he fainted. The boy.
They'll be using payday on his family.
Very good. He voiced Meowth and James. And the actress that voiced Misty and Jessie is also dead. So what's the fucking point?
Team Rocket finally been defeated.
I know, they blasted off.
Oh well, God rest. Sorry about joking about that. God rest.
That's right. Enjoy your weekend, folks. Next week's podcast will probably be a little bit strange. I'm going to take my mic and stuff to Mike is a guy that I live with, to the Pokemon Road and try and record from my hotel room. So the audio quality might be slightly different, but I'll do some extra stuff while I'm out there to make up for it. Any final thoughts and feelings, Chris?
Oh, I've got a feeling.
Woo!
None. Just stay safe out there, folks. Rubber up, and I'll see you next week.
And why would you like a new game from the people at Avalanche Studios?
Mad Max.
See you later, folks.